Hi everyone and welcome back to SGTV. Today we are joined once again by Ben from Beat Electrical. So Ben, thank you for joining us again. It's a pleasure to have you as always. How are you?
Pleasure to be here. Well, good, mate. Well, good.
Good. So we've had you on the show before, and we were talking about the difficulties of being a young director running your own business. So for those of you who haven't seen that, please make sure you get on the channel and check that video out. That's a good one. But Ben, today we're going to be talking about something you set up. Now, as I said before this episode, I don't actually know a lot about this, so this would be a good chance for you to tell us and our audience what it is and why you've done it. So you've got something called the Beat Electrical Skill School.
Yep.
So tell us really, what is it? Why have you set it up?
So basically, in a nutshell, it was there's a lot of stuff that you're taught at college, that when you get into the real world, you sort of lost. There's a lot of stuff that you're not taught, and I find a lot of people asking me for advice and asking for help. And I just wanted to create somewhere whereby we could get essentially pass these skills on and give people the skills that they actually really need to be successful electricians.
Okay, so how does this course work then? Is it are you going onto site? Are people coming to you?
No, so I mean it's changed. I mean, if anybody knows about it, you see we did have an online launch date during the pandemic. It was going to be something that I was going to be recording sort of online training videos, but just due to one location, I was hoping to be in our office where we have a little studio set up. That still hasn't happened. Two, the pandemic was a lot busier for us than I anticipated, so it meant that I was really struggling for time. And when I was sort of setting up to do videos and stuff, it's quite late at night. I'm tired. I've got a full day work in the morning, so just making it a bit difficult for me. But now the pandemic is sort of where we're slowing down. Once the office space we're in, we will be offering straight into face-to-face skills training, as well as the online training for those who can't make it.
Yeah, what sort of training are we talking about then? Because I mean, we spoke in the previous episode about whether you're doing a college apprenticeship, an adult learning course, one of these courses that they all lack is like the real on-site experience. So is that the kind of area you're going to be working with?
Yeah, so I mean, when I asked a few people, and the main topic that came up was heating controls. So that's something that is quite popular and has been for a while with sort of the Nest and the Hive and all the smart thermostats. There's been a lot of electricians going in to fit these into heating systems. They don't really know what's going on, or it's been poorly wired in the first instance. So it's quite difficult for them to work out what's going on and then implement this new technology that they've been asked to put in. And there's so many different ways to do heating in hot water controls that I just thought it'd be really good to sort of break it down and help people understand exactly what it is the system is doing, how you can test, how you can fault find, and sort of the full spectrum of that topic. And then following on from there was just so many other things that people were touching on. Again, it's 2021 and the smart home industry is rocketing, and there's so much more equipment out there that again, the customers are knowing about potentially before even the electricians even got hold of it. And they're being asked to install it. They're not really sure what's going on or the best way to do it. Because we've all found times where the manufacturer's instructions, although they work, they might not be best suited for our implication, our job. What's the word I'm looking for? Not atmosphere. Our job location, where we're actually placing it. So it'd just be good to help out and give people, I guess, the resources that they need to carry out this work.
So do you think this is going to be a never-ending kind of teaching? Because, like you say, there's so much new tech coming out. that not only you've got to keep on top of it to know it yourself, you've got to keep on top of it to be able to teach it as well.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's not going to be something that, oh, I can get everything recorded and done in 6 months and not have to do anything ever again. I do reckon this is going to be a continually growing, and just to be just a massive database of information.
Yeah. Well, so with a lot of courses, manufacturers, for example, offer courses. Different governing bodies will offer courses and things like that. So a lot of them have to be CPD accredited, don't they, to be like an official thing. So would that be something you'd be looking to do if you've not already done that?
It's not something I've looked into doing, because it's not essentially teaching you to become an electrician or to give you a qualification to do a job. This is aimed at people who are already qualified and just need a bit of help.
Yeah, need the knowledge and expertise on how to do it.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
how can learners sort of get involved? How can they do these courses currently?
I mean, at the moment we're not live. We're still waiting on a few bits and pieces before we will go live. I'm really hoping that we can at least get a few bits sort of before the end of the year. But some of the stuff's just out of my hands in terms of getting into our office space and setting up the studio and setting up the space for the training and working out the logistics of it and whatnot. We've even got to think about stuff like parking and food and drink and all that. So there's so much to think about, and I don't want to get it wrong. I mean, I know it's probably not something that I should think about too much, but as well as there's a lot of people out there singing praise, there are a lot of people out there, as there are in any industry, looking for you to mess up. And I really, I'm so passionate about it. I really want it to do well, and I really want it to be exactly what it says on the tin.
Yeah, I think honestly, you can be as perfect and shiny and finished in whatever you do, and there's always going to be someone who will say something negative. So it's just one of them things,
One of them things, yeah.
I take it as a good thing, If people say a bad thing about a video you've done or something like that, I take it as a good thing, because it's the whole saying of people who are saying bad things. It's usually a reflection on themselves.
Yeah.
So I take it as a compliment sometimes. That's how it works for me anyway.
Yeah, no, I get it. It is one of those things that, I mean, sometimes just might be the bad day and that person just hit that bad nerve.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, but I mean, it's really, I just want to make sure that it is what it says it is on the tin. And what I wouldn't want is for me to say that it's going to be something and then have a load of people come down or invest in themselves in it and it not be what it was supposed to be. And hear people saying that, oh man, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I really want to get it right. So it is. I've got a folder somewhere like that thick of where I'm going through notes, and every time I'm writing down a topic and I'm saying, right, we'll do this and we'll do that and we'll cover this and we'll cover that, it just literally just carries on spiraling. Oh, what about if this and what about if that? And it's just, I mean, at one point the heating course was going to be nice, quick and easy, and I was like, hold on a minute, we've got to talk about nest, hive, heat miser, getting it ready for what if you do want to integrate into a control system. And there's so many different scenarios. I'm like, wow, this is actually a lot bigger than what I thought it was. And I don't think I can pull this off in as a quicker time as I thought I could.
So it's definitely one for the future, but something our audience should be keeping their eyes open for.
Yeah, I definitely, I mean, there will be something coming. Like I said, hopefully before the end of the year, we'll be up and running.
And I mean, a lot of our audience are probably following you already on YouTube and Instagram and things like that. So they know what to expect with you. They know that you know what you're talking about. So hopefully they'll be keeping tuned in for that. But you told me sort of about how, like we mentioned at the start, when you're doing whatever courses you're doing or education, you're going to lack the practical knowledge, the practical application of things. And it's one thing coming out of education thinking, I wish they'd have shown me that. But it's another thing thinking, right, then the people aren't showing this. So I'm going to now take it upon myself to plug that gap and teach people. So what was your inspiration there? What made you think of, I want to actually be the one who's helping plug this gap?
I mean, I get so many people asking me for help anyway. And there is times I'm like, oh, I've covered this topic so many times. And so originally it started by like, okay, how can I do this once and have it somewhere where everybody can see? So I don't have to keep covering the same topic over and over again, because replying to DMs and stuff, I mean, I enjoy it. My DMs are always open for anybody asking for advice or anything like that. But it does get quite time consuming. And especially with a young family, it's by the time I finish from work and I've got to go through my DMs, it's like I'm never really here. So I thought, right, what can I do to help people and make it accessible, whereby I guess I've only got to do it once kind of thing. And then that idea just snowballed, really, because there's a lot of people out there who, again, they're really good electricians. They do know what they're doing until they get to something that they haven't done before, or they're putting it into a situation or a scenario that they haven't come across before, and it's something that I have. Or like I've said before, I've seen things. I can see problems and solutions through my head before even talking about or speaking about it. So I'm really quite a good person to talk to if you've got an issue and you're like, oh, what would you do in this scenario? I'm really quick to think of a solution. I'm a solutions-based person.
Yeah, it's always good to bounce those kind of things off other people, especially people like yourself. If you've got that practical mentality of being able to take something apart and figure it out, they're the kind of people you want to be, bouncing your questions to.
Yeah, and as much as I am, people would say that I'm quite young and maybe I haven't got as much experience as some other people out there. I have done quite a wide range of installations, from your very basic to your most advanced. And so I've seen a lot, and I've made my own mistakes, and I know how expensive these mistakes can be, and if I can provide someone with the help, the resources, and them learning from my mistakes before going out and making the mistakes themselves, then it's a no-brainer, really. I enjoy helping people. They're going to get the knowledge and the resources that they need, and it's a win-win all round kind of thing. Yeah.
So if you're doing this online, have you got a web page or anything like that where our audience can be checking that out and keeping their eye on that?
Well, I'm going to be updating the website next week with a few new bits. So that's b-electrical.com. There is a skills school section on there at the moment that's just got the little trailer video that I shot, but it will be updated next week. And then on my social media, my Instagram, I will be updating as soon as we're making sort of the next steps.
Yeah. So we've filmed this, by the way, for our audience. If this video is launched in a few weeks' time or anything, we filmed this at the start of September. So if it is in a couple of weeks from then, I'm guessing your web would be updated by then, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So by the time you're seeing this, it will definitely be done. So to have a quick look, there'll be a lot more information on what we're offering, and how it's all sort of going to pan out. So have a look.
Yeah. And our audience can also find you on Instagram, YouTube. So where can they find you on that?
Instagram, YouTube. I mean, the Instagram is b.electrical.london. Again, if you just type in B Electrical London on YouTube, there are a few videos on there. Again, we're just waiting for a few things to be sorted out before we start putting some different type of content out there and a bit more consistent. So hopefully, again, next month or so, we'll have a new member on board, which will be helping us with the content creation. So that will up that side of things.
Yeah, good. Well, as I said last time, I wish you all the best with this. I think it's brilliant that what you're doing, giving something back, offering to help people based on your knowledge and expertise. I think that's brilliant. And I see so many people on YouTube, social media, all just wanting to help. It's completely selfless, and I think that's brilliant. So I commend anyone like yourselves who's doing that. It's exactly what makes this industry tick and makes it what it is.
Yeah. There's a lot of stigma, and I mean it's we're in an age where there's a lot of negativity, and everybody wants to sort of belittle others. And when they see a job that hasn't been done to her, give them the most amount of stick. But I mean, I was at a point where I didn't know what I was doing at one time, and if I had someone that said to me, "Hey, listen, here's what you need," I mean, I'd probably 10 times where I am now, because I mean, I'm still learning today. I'm still my evenings researching, trying. I spend a lot of money on. Everybody says to me, "Oh, how'd you get into this? How'd you get into that?" I spent a lot of money on sort of like research and development, you could call it. Before I knew it was called R&D. I'm buying things that I'm not even putting in people's homes just so I can play around with it at home and work out how it works. Just so if and when, because there's a lot of stuff that I've bought and I've never installed in anyone's house. But if and when I'm asked to do it, I know that I can do it.
Yeah. And you never stop learning, no matter how old, experienced, whatever, you never stop learning. Or you should never want to stop learning anyway.
Yeah, there's always, even if you think you know everything, there will always be, a different way to improve the way that you're doing it.
Yeah, and I always think, I mean, everyone remembers a certain teacher or lecturer or something. Everyone remembers at least one of those people. And if one of those people have made a difference and been a good influence in your career or your learning, that you're going to remember it, that's going to stick, and that's a good thing, So the more people like yourselves that are doing it, the better.
Yeah.
Right then. Anyway, I want to thank you for coming on, Ben. It's a pleasure, and hopefully we'll get you on the show again.
Yeah, we'll speak soon.
Yeah. Right then. Thank you for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next time.